Welcome to the Miracles and Wellness Podcast. My name is Clarissa and I'm your life and wellness coach and also a beauty expert. I am so happy and grateful that you are here. We'll be discussing all things health and wellness, feeling empowered, and loving yourself more while connecting your mind, body, and spirit. Always know that you can manifest whatever you desire for your greater well-being in your life, because I believe that miracles are for everyone.
Hello there, everyone. Happy Wednesday. So today we're going to talk a little bit about stress, which can sometimes manifest as anxiety, burnout, just all the things. It can take a toll on our mental health, and it's just incredibly important. Stress is just as important to me as when I talk about our nutrition and our intake, right? It all works together for our well-being. Our wellness is what keeps us going, right? And we can become stressed out from different factors. Sometimes it's work. Sometimes it's things going on at home in our family environment. Sometimes it could be just our friends, right? It could just be anything, just a number of things, even outside of those three things that I just listed. Do you ever find yourself being a people pleaser? Just going above and beyond for everybody else, not putting yourself first, right? And it makes you feel like you're too busy. And then it just puts you in this cycle of overwhelm, right? And we just don't want to feel like that. We don't want to give away too much of ourselves to others, right? Because it can make you feel worn out. And that feeling of overwhelm, it just makes you just want to just stop and just be like, I can't take it anymore, Or even perfectionism. I've struggled with perfectionism. I've had to work on myself a lot with that. And a lot of times it held me back from doing things where it might have taken me longer to do something instead of putting out like now. It might have taken me an extra couple of weeks or something, so I have to tell myself progress over perfection. I mean, it's such a true thing because it just has you nitpick over things. So that's something I definitely had to work through on my own. You all might also be over functioning, just trying to do it all. Just so many things you just want to, and that also can mean you also might be helping just like over excessively, just like the overachiever, which most of us are, especially if you're listening to here, a lot of us are high achievers. We just want to do all the things, and so a lot of these traits, they can be good and bad, right? It can get you to where you are successful there, but you have to know when to kind of turn it on and off. And sometimes you might get like stuck in this cycle and you don't know how to turn it off, right? So then you gotta be like, well, how do I turn this off? Okay. So we just have to try to think about all these different layers, right? For one, just trying to figure out why you are doing it, right? Why do you feel this way? Okay. So trying to go down deep. And that could come from a number of reasons. Are you trying to prove something to yourself, to others? I mean, there could just be a list. So this is a great time to journal, right? Pray, talk to God about it. Ask him to give you some answers. Ask him for wisdom to help you see what's going on. And it might be something, you might get an answer and be like, I did not see that coming. It might be something that happened to you long ago that you've been holding on to that you didn't even want to think about, right? So allowing yourself the space for those feelings to come up and acknowledge them. So sometimes we get into this little space where we don't want to deal with it, right? So maybe you just want to hide in your work or even stress eating. You might feel worked up. Like if you was working all day and then you come home, you still feel exhausted, but you have all this stuff on your mind. And so you decide to snack, and then it turns into the never-ending snack is what happens a lot of times, doesn't it? I mean, all of these things. Like I remember years ago, I used to work all day and then we would all with me for happy hour. And then people in the Northeast, we are like super stressed out up here. Okay. I mean, everybody's stressed out, honestly, in their own capacity, but it's like so normalized. We're very busy go-getter kind of people. So we are full of high achievers up here. It's just a thing and it's normalized. And, so we go to these happy hours. And I'd be over here trying to eat my little healthy food and my little cauliflower. I remember this buffalo cauliflower that was so good. Yes. or just something, whatever it is, but that'd be drinking my wine. And a lot of times that would come from me feeling stressed out or just bored, because I was just exhausted a lot of times and I just didn't feel like going home, and so that became a way to cope and an outlet. Was the healthiest way? No, it was not, right? So I had to find other ways to deal with that. But at that moment, I wasn't. And I remember having all this stuff going on, right? I just had like all the things, just not setting any boundaries, trying to take on just too much stuff, all right? And I actually hadn't had any glasses of wine or anything like that in quite some time, like a few weeks or something like that. And I remember hanging out with a friend, right? And had a couple glasses of wine, and I just was sitting there and I was like, oh, I do not feel good. It just wasn't working. And I just may remember like, I need to go, right? This is not working out for me today. And I remember the next day not feeling so good, right? I was very lethargic and I was just feeling kind of icky. I mean, I was like around and about, cleaning up, straightening up, doing little things like that. And then I was like, ooh, nope. I haven't felt like this in an extremely long time. And I was just like, this is not good. And so I found myself about to get sick here. Now, this is not good. I'm like, oh no, I cannot be doing this stuff. Like, what happened here? And when I was sitting there, I was like, I'm about to get sick. And then as I sit there, I had to talk to God for a second. And I was like, God, please just help me here. And it didn't work at first. I was like, oh no, this is terrible. What did I do to myself? I know better, right? And then I had to sit there and say, God, please forgive me for what I've done. And just like that, I felt better. I had like a little headache, but I wasn't sick or anything. God heard me and forgave me. And then I had to forgive myself for what had happened, okay? Now, I did all that because I was stressed out, because I had stuff on my plate, which shouldn't have been an excuse, but I wasn't coping with anything well at this time, right? So what do we do here? Find other outlets. I love yoga, right? The nutritional food. But I mean, just like I was eating healthy, but I wasn't doing the other things that was healthy, right? So finding something physical to do for yourself, right? The fitness. I love working out. I love all kinds of working out. Even if you're not used to moving your body, just start with 30 minutes, all right? Just start with 30 minutes, right? Or just go to the gym, do some cardio and lift some weights, do some yoga, all the things. The yoga really helps with your mental health, right? Also, because it's meditative, because when you're holding those moves, it's just a beautiful thing, right? Because your mind affects your body, right? It's all connected. So that's why that's good, right? And remember to time block, right? And allowing enough time. See, I used to not allow enough time. Well, I would get it in when I would get it in, right? I would maybe work out according to where I had the space. So I was getting it done, but I wasn't like time blocking properly like I should have been back then. Now I know better. Because I know I feel absolutely more amazing when I do these things, right? Make it a part of your day, a routine. It should be a ritual for your life, part of your lifestyle, all right? So being able to do that, it will make you feel amazing. Believe me. If you're not doing it now, add that in. And if you're doing it, I know you love it, and make sure you do it every day. And you can do it every day because I know there are certain things that you do every day, that you have some habits that you do that are not all self-care. So if you need to move things around your schedule, then that's what you need to do for yourself and get it done, right? And then we talked about that journaling, making sure you get that down, right? And trying to be mindful. So when you're journaling, just getting that all out. And then this will also give you a chance to find ways that you can add mindfulness into your day, right? Even if it's just for 5 minutes, right? So if you know around 2:00, you about to get stressed out because you have this designated meeting on Wednesdays, and you be like, I am not ready for 2, and you like dreading 2:00 meetings, then set yourself up 10 minutes before for some mindfulness for yourself. Do that for yourself, right? Give yourself those moments to refocus, okay? And whatever negative thoughts you are having, try to flip those into positive, right? Just try to do that. And it will help you so much. Okay, so just stopping and choosing a better thought and just giving yourself this time. Whenever you know that you're about to have a place where that you are normally feeling stressed, stop it then and kind of put that on your calendar. Be like, oh, and even if it sounds a little silly, you still do that. And it'll get you in that habit, right, of that mindfulness so that it'll become second nature to you, all right? So that's good to do. And also boundaries, right? And I know boundaries are hard sometimes, right? Right? Because sometimes you want to help people. You don't want to say no. But look, sis, you have to do this for yourself. Period. You have to. Even if it feels icky to you to say no, you need to give yourself permission to say no. And no is a complete sentence, all of it. And do whatever you need to do. Because if you're running yourself ragged to make somebody else happy, what's going to happen when your health goes back on the back burner? Okay? So I want you to do this for yourself because you love yourself enough to do it. Right? You have to do that, you know. And if there's somebody that you know that has your back like that, then ask them to remind you to check you if you need it. Sometimes we need it. Okay? So if you be like, you got a friend or relative or something, and you be like, you know, you can even ask them, be like, do I have a thing with saying yes to everybody? They gonna tell you to be like, yeah, you do. You do not know how to say no. You'd be like, okay, well, can you look? I need you to help me with that because I'm trying to get better, and they'll do it, you know. And you can run it past and be like, you know, you can feel it too. Sometimes somebody's asking you to do something and you just feel it inside and you be like, I do not feel like doing this. Then you don't do it. You do not have to say yes to every single thing. Your calendar will be a hot mess. Do you understand that? I know you do. Because you've probably been there at one point, right? So just giving yourself that permission to say no. And you need to delegate something. So looking at that, is there anything that you can take off of your plate that you can give to somebody else that you do not need to do, right? You can still come up with a vision and have it all laid out, but you can have somebody else to help you. That will free that space up for you to relax, for you to refocus, for you to feel so much better, okay? And it might be hard to delegate, especially when you're used to doing something. It should be like, but I might do it better. No, let it go. Let it go, okay? You can do it. You know, even start out with something small and just let them, okay? And it will make you feel good. It's your responsibility to take care of yourself, and that's part of it. And along with boundaries, making sure you set aside time to eat. I know a lot of times we are busy and we don't want to eat anything. We want a snack bar, a protein bar, or any of those little things where the package says it's good. A lot of times that's marketing for one, and that will not be enough nutrients to sustain you throughout the day. And especially if you are super busy and you're like, I'm going to be productive today. You still have to eat because you're not going to have the energy to sustain you. So you have to allow yourself that. You deserve it. You deserve to sit down and have a proper meal. Even if it's just for 20 minutes, allow yourself that, right? And then also, if you're not eating, it's going to mess with your hormones. And then when you eat later, if you haven't eaten all day, you're going to overeat, right? That can also turn into a binge. So it's just a trickle effect. And stress affects everything, right? So even if you're trying to lose weight, that stress is going to hold your belly fat in there, right? So it all goes hand in hand, okay? So those boundaries are very important, right? Giving yourself that space because we want to have the energy to give to our family. A lot of times our main reason why, right? And so if we're burnt out, we don't have that because one day what happens? We crash, right? So just doing these little things will help. And always remember to find joy. This is why, Sometimes I'm just silly because life is short. What's one thing that's wonderful? Laughter, right? So being serious all the time, let it go, right? There's no need to be serious all the time. Just have fun. Just laugh. Enjoy life. I mean, I love to smile. I love to be silly sometimes, right? It's good. There's a time and place for everything, but don't take life so seriously all the time. There's different ways to interpret that, right? Like, that's why comedy is so amazing, because it just helps you relax. It's a good way to cope with things, okay? Just find something that brings you joy, right? Smile more. I know you have that list of things that you love. Try something exciting and invigorating. And look, if you don't know where to start, talk to God, right? Like when I asked him for forgiveness that day. Ask for forgiveness if needed. And if you don't know why you're stressed out, talk to him. Ask for guidance. You will receive it. Whatever that is, he is always there for you. He loves you. And he is always there to listen. It doesn't matter how you talk to him. Just be yourself. Always be yourself, regardless of who you're talking to. Because I tell you one thing, your people will find you regardless. So it doesn't even matter. Don't let anybody stress you out. All right? This is what I know. That God is always there for you. And I'm here for you too. So I hope this helped you in some way. Because we want to have our mental health in a much better place. Because our mental health is just as important as our physical health. And until next time.
If you like my mommy show, leave a review. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for coming by. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a written review. Until next time, love and light.